Power Girl hovered above the skyline of Metropolis, the late afternoon sun catching the gold trim of her costume. She could see the city humming below, alive with sound and motion. It was just another patrol, she thought until the cum in her ear crackled. Reports of an attack. Midtown Science Plaza. Something big, something strange, something familiar. She shot forward, streaming a streak of blue and white across the fading sky. Within moments, she was above the chaos civilians, scattering like startled birds. In their midst stood a figure that did not belong. Massive, white-skinned, head impossibly large. Eyes peering out with chilling calculation. Ultra-Humanite. He had always fascinated her. Once a brilliant scientist, now his mind had moved from body to body. And here he stood, hulking albino form, superhuman strength, married to a genius-level intellect. It was never just brute force with Ultra-Humanite. There was always a twist. She dropped to the street, landing with enough force to crack the pavement. Looking for trouble, she called out. Her confidence wasn't an act. She was Kryptonian after all, and she'd fought tougher. Ultra-Humanite smiled. The expression barely moved his lips, but his eyes glimmered. No, my dear. It's an opportunity to test a theory. As he spoke, his hand massive, almost comically oversized, pressed a device on his palm. The ground beneath her shook, and instantly enormous tendrils of steel burst from the manhole covers, wrapping toward her with impossible speed. She stepped into the attack, dodging the first two tentacles, which smashed concrete to dust where she'd just been standing. A third grazed her arm, not enough to wound, but enough to bruise. She flew upward, but Ultra-Humanite only watched, calm. As the tentacles arced upwards to meet her, each was tipped with a glowing emitter, pulsing with red light. She realized it a second too late. Red sun radiation, artificial, but enough to weaken even her Krypton-born muscles. The tendrils latched on, dragging her back toward Earth. Ultra-Humanite lumbered forward. You know, Power Girl brute force is so uninspired. I'd hoped you'd challenge me a little more. She gritted her teeth, gathering every ounce of strength left. Her fist arced backwards and smashed into the tentacle gripping her wrist. Sparks sprayed across her chest. The metal gave, but didn't shatter. He squatted down beside her, wise and weary, almost sympathetic. We could accomplish so much if you'd only listen. Imagine a world governed by intellect. Not power, not caprice. She stared at him, straining against the bonds. You always talk about intellect, but you never seem to realize you never really understand people, do you? You never understand why you always lose. He paused. For a second, maybe a flicker of uncertainty. That was her moment. Her eyes burned with potential, and with her free hand she tore another tentacle away, wincing as she did. The red light bathed her skin, sapping her strength, but rage and will were sometimes enough. She twisted her body, planting both feet against the last metal arm, and with a guttural yell she tore herself free. Pieces of circuitry exploding like fireworks. She didn't give Ultra-Humanite another moment to gloat. She surged forward, shoulder down, smashing into him with a force that cratered the concrete. They barreled down a city block, careening through cars and scattered debris. The scientist's incredible strength was not enough. He clawed at her, grasping, but she was fury incarnate. She drove a fist into his jaw, then another enough to shatter pavement, to send shockwaves echoing up through surrounding buildings. He toppled backwards, the mechanical device forgotten in his hands. She picked him up, one hand around the torn, ruined chest of his bodysuit, lifting him high. You had the brains, but you forgot the heart, she said, voice low, almost a whisper. He looked up, dazed but defiant. Perhaps next time, then. She flung him to the ground, pinning him just long enough for the authorities to arrive, their weaponized restraints already primed. She watched as they loaded him into a reinforced truck, eyes never leaving hers. Flying above the city again, Power Girl took in the sun and the damaged streets below. She thought about the power of a mind like Ultra-Humanite's, so fixated on domination, so incapable of empathy, and wondered if he'd ever truly understand. But for now, Metropolis was safe. At least until next time.